What's going on, guys? My name's Jerry, and today we'll be talking about what happened to the PSP systems and why we don't see them that much anymore today. So what I have here is the PSP Vita, and I have the older PSP models here. So I'm going to go over what happened to them and replace them, and what's the future for PSP. So anyone that was born around the 80s or 90s or any time around that era will understand just how big the PSP really was when it first came out. It had, at that time, the graphics of a home console on a portable system, and that was very big at that time. Everyone wanted a PSP, and I was lucky to get my hands on mine. This one's a bit beat up, but it survived. It's seen its days. But just to have a system that is basically a PS1, semi PS2 in your hands, you could take it anywhere you want on trips, was very big for the time. So let's put ourselves in the mindset when the PSP first came out. Let's all be honest. Back then, you had your home console, which was either PlayStation 1 or Nintendo or whatever, which you played at home. You had a giant old computer that you probably watched porn on, and you had a phone which you called your parents and your girlfriend on, and that was about it. There were Nintendos and such, but those really didn't attract at least the people I knew who were in like hardcore gaming, such as games like SOCOM and such. We weren't really into that kind of arcade-ish type gaming. So when the PlayStation Portable first came out, that was very groundbreaking because finally we had a system where we could play games that we considered to be simulators type or realistic type with, at the time, some of the best graphics for handheld. And it merged so many things into one that at the time you have to understand this is very groundbreaking. Most children nowadays cannot appreciate or understand how big this really was to us. So the PSP added upon itself. Again, this is the original model. Then it added to the 2000, and then there was a 3000, which I had, but I sold. And then it went to the PS Vita. The PS Vita is a very hard topic to talk about because it was supposed to be the continuation to the legacy of the PlayStation Portable, yet it didn't sell that well. And that's because the generation that it was competing against did not appreciate it because of technology such as this. Again, this is an iPhone 4. So this is by no means as good as the PS Vita. When the iPhone 4 first came out, and I'm not sure if it's 2009 or 10, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the graphics and the games that were built for this phone were nowhere compared to the PlayStation Portable and would later be the PS Vita. But we've come to a point now, 6 years after the iPhone 4, like what I'm recording with right now is iPhone 6, that the graphics and gameplay are almost similar and identical, such as Modern Combat 5 and such. So it became hard to have a system where you can only play games, where now you have everything combined in one. As I said earlier, now you can watch porn on your phone. Now you can call your mom and your sister and your girlfriends on your phone. Now you can play games on your phone. Now you can do just about everything on your phone, which really eliminated competition, and that's why Sony pretty much discontinued their whole production of PlayStation Portable series. So some people would say, why buy PlayStation now? Why buy PlayStation Portable now? For one, for me, it was nostalgia. I remember playing on a PSP back when I was younger, and it was a big nostalgia boost to get it one again. I got this one brand new, never been used before, fixed it up all nice, so it was nostalgia. Secondly, people don't really like to talk about this, but also it's the convenience. Playing games like Modern Combat 5 and other games in your iPhone 6 is fun, but it really does drain the battery. And yes, you could bring alternatives such as portable charging batteries and all, but that's just an extra hassle. Having a PS Vita or PSP, you could drain the whole battery on that and still have a complete battery on your phone. So it kind of saves convenience in terms of battery consumption, which most people don't really think about. So having a PlayStation Portable isn't the worst idea to get. And at this point, having a PSP it's in that weird range of forgotten technology. As I was saying, it's in the range of forgotten technology, meaning that most people don't care about it or really honor as much as it should get. But in a few years, the value and appreciation for it will go up. So at this point, it's a pretty good investment to have. So if you don't have a PS Vita or PlayStation Portable, you should get one now. Hold on to it. If you don't like it, save it, because trust me, later on, people are going to realize that this was a great system, that this was a forgotten system, and it was way ahead of its time, and they will want to get one. And who's going to have them? The lucky person who bought it years before anyone cared about it. The sad reality is smartphones have basically replaced the PlayStation Portable system. Also, the Nintendo has some fault to do with this, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't get one. The PlayStation is still a great handheld to have.